Bhadram karne shrinuyama devah Bhadram pasye makshabhirja jatra Sthirairangai stoshtabhagam sastanubhi Vishima devahite yadayo Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we hear what is auspicious. May we see what is good and auspicious. May you spend your lifetime for doing good to humanity. O Lord, please bless us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Stories of Vedanta Monks, part 38. As you know, it is a series of lectures based on the reminiscences of the second generation monks of the Ramakrishna order. Ramakrishna is our origin. Then came the Jari disciples, first generation. Then the second generation. The disciples, and we are the third generation. This topic is very, very dear to me because when I speak on this subject, I relax. When I speak about Gita, Upanishad, Sri Ramakrishna, and other topics, I try to focus only that topic, so that there should not be any digression. So here I have plenty of freedom, and I can speak what comes in my mind. Generally, sermons in the Christian churches are very heavy, very serious. When Swami Vivekananda started to give lectures in this country, he was laughing, joking while giving sermons. So some of his followers said, Swamiji, why do you laugh so much? Swamiji replied, because we are not sinners. We are the children of immortal bliss. Our God is full of joy, not sadness or sorrows or morrows. But don't you try to be any time serious? Of course I do when I have a stomachache, Swamiji said. Swamiji was so fit. Even Swamiji mentioned some ministers, they have cemented jaw. They do not know how to open their mouth. They are so serious. And they make religion gloomy and very heavy. When we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, in many places you will notice all laughter. Anyhow, Vedantic religion or the teachings of Ramakrishna are full of joy. True religion is really joyful, simple. The theologians, scholars make the religion difficult, dry, serious, heavy, burdensome. I read some Sanskrit dramas. When some serious sections come, they bring a court gesture and make the thing light. so that the audience can enjoy the drama better. One of our brother monks compiled a book, Swami Bhutishanandaji Maharaja Roshabod, this book in Bengali. There are many sections are connected with me. Anyhow, we used to go to visit this great Swami, who was the president of the 12th president of the Ramakrishna Order, died in 1998. I knew him nearly 38 years. He was very learned, fantastic memory, deeply spiritual, a delightful person. One monk said, Maharaj, we wait for 15 minutes to be with him every morning after breakfast. All day we wait to see him and to be with him and to listen to him. That Swami came in St. Louis also in 1988. The Swami used to tell some of his experiences. He said, even the direct disciples, we used to tease each other. When one day Swami Akhandananda came to Belur Math, he was the head of Sargaji Ashrama, started an orphanage. So he wanted a monastic worker. So Swami Shivananda says, here is the young boy, young monk, you can take him. But Maharaj, Akhandananda says, I shall be glad to take him. Then Shivananda said, but you see, he's a Calcutta boy. He loves to eat luchi at night and some good food. Swami Akhandananda says, our ashrama is very poor. We live only rice and dal. That's also hard for me to collect. I cannot supply that kind of fancy food. Then Shivananda said, but you see, this boy has a desire to learn scripture, so you will have to engage a Pundit for him. My goodness, Pundit. Swami Akhandananda bowed down to Shivananda and left the place. Then Shivananda was laughing and telling Swami Bhutishananda, did you see how I teased, how I made him angry? How the brother disciples used to tease each other. Maharaj was so learned, he was my high court. Whenever I have any question or anything to ask, I would ask him and he would answer. When we had an interview, sometimes we used to ask some deep scriptural questions or spiritual questions. In between, he used to tell some funny stories. He told, this morning, one rich woman brought his daughter-in-law and they bowed down. There is a time for the devotees also to visit the president. So the mother-in-law introduced the daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law is a MA in Bengali, very learned. Maharaj listened. 2-3 times that mother-in-law referred that she is learned, MA in Bengali. Then do you know what is the story? Swami, when they left, Swami told the monks, listen to a story of MA in Bengali. A young man had no job. He applied for an office worker in the Calcutta Zoo. And the superintendent gave him a job. After a few days, the superintendent told this young man, our chimpanzee died, and that cage is empty. So I will have to ask you a favor. Every day in the morning 2 hours, in the afternoon 2 hours, you put on your the chimpanzee dress, that skin and all this mound, and just sit there. Because we want to keep that place full so that the visitors can see. So he agreed, and then the superintendent watched that how he was working. Then one day he said, only sitting will not be able. Sometimes you will have to jump around, and sometimes they used to give you some peanuts. You eat peanuts and throw the children and entertain them. Then your show will be very interesting. So he did that. But all of a sudden, the barrier of the cage, he fell the other cage, and he went to the other cage, that was the tiger's cage. And now the chimpanzee was very afraid, and the tiger was trying to come towards chimpanzee, and chimpanzee was running around that cage, in the tiger's cage. Then tiger said, "Don't be afraid, I am also MA in Bengali." I am also a Bengali MA. Could not get any job. So I am here. And we all laughed. Then he became serious. He had tremendous passion for truth. Somebody asked Maharaj, did anything happen in your life that you had to say untruth or anything? No, by Master's grace, that never happened in my life. Sometimes devotees come and say, Maharaj, please eat these fruits, eat this sweet, please put on my cloth. They sometimes bring those things to me and try to take words from me. I tell them, I smile and say, keep to my attendance. If they offered me, I shall put on or I shall eat. Do not give anything to me with condition, with a string. Because I cannot give heed from the truth. If I say yes, I shall eat. If I do not eat, I shall have to, that will be an untruth. Sometimes I see sometimes people are speaking untruth. Then I didn't hurt them, but later I told them that it is not right, you did not say right. I did not want to embarrass you publicly. Always try to speak the truth. Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of truth. Then in September 1997, Mother Teresa died. So Swami was reading the newspaper, and he was telling his secretary, hey, why don't you write an obituary for me? When I shall die, you people will be very sad, you will not get any time to write properly. Why don't you write my obituary? Another attendant said, Maharaj, he will write, but will you edit? Maharaj laughed. Full of fun. He told another story that impressed me very much. He said he had a professor in Sanskrit college. His name was Pundit Rajen Vidyanidhi. He was a very poor boy, very meritorious, no money to go to college. He went to Pundit Ishachandra Vidyasagar, who was the principal of that college and a great philanthropist, educationist. He was not in Calcutta. Vidyasagar was sick. He was resting in Uttarpara, just opposite to Dakshineshwar. So he went there on foot from Calcutta, nearly 15 miles, and wanted to see Vidyasagar, but the gatekeeper won't allow him to go in. He said, I shall go and simply bow down, I shall not talk to him. Well, no. Then this young man saw somebody came out from the door and carrying a basket, something. So he shouted, hello, I want to see Vidyasagar. I am coming from Calcutta, I just wanted to see him and bow down to him. So Vidyasagar was very compassionate. He let this young man get in. Then Rajan Vidyanidhi said, this is my condition, I am very poor, I cannot afford to go to college. I heard that you generally help. I have no food, I have no money to go by bus. So Vidyasagar fetched him, gave him his bus fare and gave a packet and told him, do not open it. They open it when you go home. And then he said, Utsahi balavan arja nasti utsahat param balam. Listen, young man, listen. It is in the Valmiki Ramayana. When Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, Rama was crying and very much depressed. He lost hope. At that time, Lakshmana, his brother, said, brother, Utsahi Balavan Rajan, Utsaho, enthusiasm is very vital in human life. Do not give up. We must find out Sita. If you keep quiet, if you just do not do anything, we'll never find her. Please, do not lose enthusiasm. There is nothing higher than enthusiasm. So he says that you may be poor, but do not give up your enthusiasm. Hold on. And that man became a professor and very great teacher. Then when he went home, opened the packet, found a shawl, nearly 1,000 rupees worth, and a lot of money. Vidyasagar is called Karunasagar, ocean of Vidyasagar means ocean of learning, ocean of compassion for the people. So he used to tell us all these beautiful stories that never give up hope. He told many stories. I gave hundreds of stories. You will laugh. One story I can tell you. I asked him, Maharaj, I know you 38 years. Of course, I last saw him in 1997. When I went to India, I met him. That was my last visit. So I said, Maharaj, I am watching you last 37, 38 years and you look the same. Then Maharaj said, do you know the story of the same? One Englishman, 80 years old, wanted to see the room of the dormitory in Oxford University where he was 60 years ago as a student. So he went to that room and knocked the door. A young student came out. May I help you? He said, I'm an old man. I just came to see my room where I was 60 years ago. Come in. Then he looked around. The same room. The same furniture. Then he peeped through the window. The same old view. Then he opened the closet. A young girl came out. Then this student said, she is my sister. The same old story. And we all laughed. That is the story of the same. Maharaj was so funny. But what a deep, people were eager to go to see him. He created such a spiritual, joyful atmosphere. That we need. That I call holy company. Now I shall start my topic. That is holy company. We love it. Today we shall start another chapter, Bhagavat Prasanga, spiritual talks by Swami Madhavananda, the 9th president of the Ramakrishna Order. He was born in 1888 and died in 1965. He was a disciple of Holy Mother. He was in America for a couple of years in San Francisco in the late 1920s. But he returned to India and he became General Secretary, then Vice President, then President. A great legendary monk of the Ramakrishna Order. His life was his message. What is called genuine Ramakrishna monks that we have noticed in his life. Extremely learned, deeply spiritual, large heart, gigantic brain, strong hands, and great devotee. All four yogas blended in his life. That is an ideal Ramakrishna monk. Balloon March, Saturday, 15th September 1962. At that time he was the president of the order. Call on the Master, call on God sincerely. If you walk one step toward Him, He will come 100 steps toward you. Out of compassion, He will give vision to you. He will reveal to you. In these worlds, sometimes happiness, misery, danger, difficulties, grief, death, desire, all these things will come. But don't look after them too much. Focus your mind to your Ishta. Moreover, Sri Ramakrishna talked in your mother tongue, in Bengali. His teachings are so simple when you read the Gospel of Ramakrishna. He is dearer to us, to all of us. Make him your own. He listens to our prayer. Don't be anxious. He will definitely reveal to you. That he said. If you move one step toward God, God will come 100 steps toward you. Do you know what that means? It means self-effort. The moment you make an effort, help will come. Girish Ghosh said, I did not move even one step. Sri Ramakrishna came to me. This morning I was deeply thinking about it. God comes to us. When? How? If we welcome Him. That is the reason I say, have two shrines. One shrine is in your house, a room. Put beautiful pictures, put flowers, burn incense, make that place very clean. That is your shrine at home. You will have to make another shrine, your heart. Clean your heart. Make your heart, mind desireless. Then God only will come and dwell in there. As Sri Ramakrishna says, if you have a single desire, there is a fibers in the thread, it will not go in the eye of a needle. Give up all worldly desires, at least momentarily, when you are in the shrine. Let God enter there in your heart. These two shrines are very, very important to me. Suppose you invited your friend, a guest, or you invited your parents during Christmas time, please come and visit us. What do? You make their room ready, you clean their bathroom, you make their bed, you buy groceries, you make a plan that where are the places I shall take my guests or my parents. You plan everything so that they are welcome and they will be happy and make that few days will be very joyful in your home. Same thing. We will have to welcome God in our heart. You know, sometimes I see in Laguna Beach, Kali Mandir people, it's Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, how they observe, or Kali Puja. They clean the place, they clean the utensils, they buy flowers. Sometimes they go to Los Angeles at 3 o'clock in the morning to buy flowers in a wholesale market in a cheaper rate. Then they have festivity, music. They make the place living, lively. Spiritual atmosphere vibrates everywhere. That means you are welcome. They sometimes ask me, Swami, what shall you want to offer? Sri Ramakrishna was fond of ice cream, this, that. They will buy all those things and offer to the Master. You know, it is so important for all of us to welcome God in our home, in our hearts. She is telling, why? The Upanishad says, Tadetat preya putrat, preyo vittat, preyo annasmat, sarvasmat, antaradamam, yadayama atma. This Atma, our chosen Jitya is our Atma. Sri Ramakrishna is our Atman. Priyo Putrat is dearer than children, dearer than wealth, dearer than everything. He is the dearest person. And we neglect. We do not think of him. We neglect him. We do not welcome him. We do not welcome our Atman, our chosen deity in our heart. That Swami was talking about, you know. Happiness, misery, all these things will come, you know, disease, sickness, grief, death in our family. All these things are natural, inevitable. That is the reason Krishna said, Anittam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajassamam. Bhajassamam. Anittam, this world is not a permanent place. Asukam, full of misery. Having this, worship me. That Krishna said. So all these troubles will be there in the home and family, in your disease, sickness, this and that. But we will have to call on God. Help. Will come. I remember a funny story. Swami mentioned that, you know, in our language, one of our monks, he was from Kerala. So he was 20 years in the monastery, so another monk was teasing him, hey, Vishwanath, after meditation, how do you pray? Well, I pray in my Malayalam language. My goodness, last 20 years your prayer did not reach Ramakrishna. What do you mean? Ramakrishna was God, he knows all languages. But Ramakrishna is God, no doubt, but he did not know the mala. We used to make a joke. How to make God our own. This is the way. Belur Math, Sunday, 16th September 1962. প্রাণের যোগ হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে বড় জিনিস, প্রাণের যোগ, feelings, connection through the heart. People run after worldly things, but how many people strive to realize God? We believe that God, Sri Ramakrishna is God himself. He came as a human being. He even listened to our prayer. One day he will definitely reveal to us. When I joined the monastery in going to Madras in 1910, Swami Ramakrishna ji told me, এই যুগে রামকৃষ্ণকে যে স্মরণ করবে তার কোনো ভয় নেই. That person will be free from fear if that person thinks of the Master. Ramakrishna's teachings he will find in the Gospel, very simple, brief. Read Lila Prasanga, Ramakrishna's divine play and Holy Mother's teachings. Mother and Sri Ramakrishna are not separate. If you sincerely pray, they will listen. But when we call and he did not reveal to us because we are not ready. That I was telling in the preparation. Preparation is very, very important in spiritual life. You cannot lift 500 pounds weight on the first day. Slowly, slowly, slowly you increase the weight. Look at the weightlifter. See how many years they go to that 500, 600 pounds they lift in the Olympic. Hard practice and preparation. Sri Ramakrishna came to make religion very simple and easy, like water and air. But you will have to practice, you will have to bring that thing in your day-to-day life, that he said. That is the test. That is the test. Praner joke, that is a beautiful word. Connection through the heart. What do you mean by connection through the heart? We know it very well. We do it all the time. The person we love, we think of that person all the time. We carry that person in our heart. That he meant. Do you love God? Do you carry him in your heart? That is the question. Simple question. তিনি শুনবেনই শুনবেন. If you pray sincerely, you will definitely listen. Recently I wrote an article on it. Bhagavan kan khorke. God is quick of hearing. He listens attentively. Kan khorke. Kan khorke means he can hear even the anklet sounds of a little ant crawling on the floor. We pray so many things every day, but many of our prayers are not answered. One day Sri Ramakrishna told to Girish, at the time of meditation, if any bad thought comes, stop meditation and pray to God good, may that prayer be nullified. May my prayer not be fulfilled. All prayers are not good. Some prayers are very dangerous. They can destroy our life. Prayer. You know, when I was in Hollywood, I still remember in the 70s, I heard a song. Some devotees gave me a tape. National Geographic people went to Spain, and they were taking photographs of a convent, and they listened to the song of the nuns. Queen o separará del Dio, gel amor de Dio. That is the song. Queen no separará del amor de Dio. Who will separate us from the love of God? That is the song. You may find it in YouTube also. That song they recorded, taking the permission of the Mother Superior, and without letting know the nuns that they are recording. That song became very, very famous. I have a copy. In Christianity, we find this inner prayer, especially among the Catholics. That inner prayer is very, very powerful. That is talking pranerjog, how to connect yourself with God. We sometimes pray, but we see nothing was working, so we sometimes get upset. Out of pique, we say, Sri Ramakrishna Master, you have become very old, now you cannot listen, we shall buy a hearing aid. Please listen to our prayer. Prayer. I remember in 1971, while I was coming to America, 3 days I was in Paris, in our Grace Center, early in the morning. Nearly 50, 60 monks, brahmacharis, devotees, swamis, all are there. It was dark. After meditation, some monks and brahmacharis, they used to start to sing, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. With tanpura, with khanjani, with cymbal, I cannot tell you. Still I can hear that music in my mind. Among these people, there are some French, German, Dutch, Indian, American, all these voices together singing Hari Om Ramakrishna in a melodious voice. That is called real prayer from the heart. God listens. God listens all kinds of prayers. In Hollywood, I remember the hippies used to sing with their guitar, all kinds of songs. There are very talented musicians are there in Hollywood. I remember one hippie song. Moses made me a Muslim, Muhammad made me a Jew, Ramakrishna made me a Christian, and Jesus made me a Hindu. What can I do? What can I do? Funny. All kinds of funny songs they used to sing in Hollywood. They used to sing, Thou art my all in all, O Lord, the life of my life, the essence of essence. In the 3 words, I have none else but Thee to call my own. That was a song. Natho tumi sarvasya amar pranadhar saratsar nahi tuhma bine kehu tribhuvane bolibar aponar. Natho tumi sarvasya amar. Thou art my all in all, O Lord. The way they used to sing, music has a tremendous power. We had a devotee from German language. She learned puja. I'm just telling you that how the prayer works. She learned puja from the nuns, and just, flowers, fruits, and all those things she used to offer. And one day I watched her prayer and worship, and I said that your worship is full of devotion, but your mantras are all murdered. You pronounce Sanskrit mantras, they was not right at all. Then she said, why don't you teach the correct pronunciation? And I go, my goodness, if I teach you correct pronunciation, Sri Ramakrishna will be mad at me. Sri Ramakrishna loved that murdered mantra with full of devotion from the German tongue. Please continue your puja as you do. Another actress, she said, she learned Bengali how to master eat. Thakur khao. So her salutation, her offering mantra is, she keeps his plate of food in front of Sri Ramakrishna and says, Thakur khao, master eat. We say Brahmarpanam, Brahmabir. But I feel that Master listens to her prayer. It is not the pronunciation. I went to Japan. They say Thakur, Thakur. Hare, I'm say Thakur. Sri Ramakrishna listens. He has devotees all over the world. He listens to everybody's prayer. He listens. Sri Ramakrishna told the devotees, you people have a full-time job. You have wives, children, family. A lot of responsibility you people carry. Shakal Shandai, Bhurinam Kurbe. In the morning and evening, please pray, repeat mantra, meditate, sing, glorify God. In that connection, Sri Ramakrishna told these devotees, listen to a story. Narada was chanting God all the time, so he was very proud. So Krishna wanted to destroy his ego. Krishna says, Narada, I have a devotee in such and such a place, he is a farmer, could you go and see him? Narada went to him and watched him whole day. When he got up from his bed, he said, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then he took his plow and bull and plowed the whole day. In the evening he came, he ate his food, and before going to bed, he says, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So Narada came, Lord, I heard that when you got up and when you went to bed, he just repeated your names once, that's all. Then Krishna says, take this cup of oil, full to the brim, and encircle this room 7 times. But please be careful. Not a single drop of oil should be spilled on the floor. So Narada took the cup full of oil, gave round, and brought back after 7 times to Krishna. Krishna says, Narada, how many times did you chant my name? Not a single time looked because my whole mind was on the cup of oil. You cautioned me so that it should not be spilled. Narada, look. That farmer has wife, children, plow, farming, all these things. Whole day he works. He got time to repeat my name twice. And for this cup of oil, he could not get time to repeat me once. You know, that story is so meaningful to people, those who are in this world. That is the way Ramakrishna used to teach. Knowingly, unknowingly, if you eat chili, your tongue will burn. Chant God's name. Master came to make a religious life simple. In the Gita, Krishna says, Idam te na atapaskaya, na abhaktaya, kadachana, na cha ashushrushabe, vaishbacham na cha mam yo abhyasuyati. Krishna cautioned Arjuna, look, don't talk about my teachings in the Bhagavad Gita. Atapaskaya, the person who does not practice austerity. Abhaktaya, the person who is not a devotee. The person who does not want to serve God. And the person who is full of jealousy. Don't talk about me to these people. The person who does not practice spiritual disciplines, austerity, person who has no devotion, the person full of jealousy and hatred and anger, and the person who does not love, serve God or the people. Don't talk about me to these people. But Thakur did not put any condition. He said, let everybody try, that's all. Make an effort. Give a chance. Belur Math, Monday, 24th September 1962. Spiritual progress depends upon the sincerity. You may sit in the shrine for 1 hour, 2 hours and repeating mantra, mind is running around. It will not work. Sincerity, how sincerely you are practicing the spiritual discipline. When a little boy cries, the mother leaves the cooking pot, everything, and runs to the baby. God is our father, mother. Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly, not half-heartedly. Not that you will have to do a lot. Whatever little you do, do it in a perfect way, with all sincerity, with all love. And you need patience. In these days, Shiva, Kali, all gods came in the form of Ramakrishna. That is the reason Swamiji said, Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. Mon pran diye daka. If a child cries, mother comes. Somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna, Kishe hoy? How can I realize God? Sri Ramakrishna's answer, Roj ekbar kore kante paro. Can you weep, cry once a day? People shed jug full of tears for wife, for children, for money. Who weeps for God? That is the answer of Sri Ramakrishna. Kanda, cry. Sri Ramakrishna further said, Janma janmantarer moner glani, anurag osrute dhuye muche jai. Whatever impurities accumulated in your mind, birth after birth, that will be washed away if you cry for God. These ways Sri Ramakrishna said those sentences are so meaningful and so powerful. We do not cry. Tears do not come for God. Dhurja chahi. You need patience. Patience. Women have more patience than men. I sometimes say, to carry the baby in the womb for 9-10 months, then raise a child. Oof. All of us came from the womb of the mother, and how mother raised us, saved our lives. We at that time were 100% dependence on the mother when we were children, babies. If mother neglects, the child will die. For that reason, I always ask people, please look after your mothers. You see, we must be grateful to her because she brought us to this earth so that we can realize God. This body was given by our parents. And if we dishonor them, disrespect them, when they become old, we neglect them. Shame to those people. In this country, sometimes I see old parents are neglected. It should not be. Dhurja type. In a spiritual life, you know that sometimes some people say, oh, just today. No, it takes time. One of my students gave me an advice. I said, hey, finish this job in the computer quickly. She said, Swami, things take time. I got a good lesson from my student. Things take time. Poverty, wants, sickness, disease, all these things will be, it is a part of life. But we must not give up our spiritual disciplines. Taddinam durdinam manne megachannam na durdinam. A cloudy day is not considered to be a bad day. That day is really bad. The day we do not talk about God. We do not think of God. And if we think that when the waves of the ocean will subside, we shall take bath, you will never get bath in your life. You will jump into the wavy ocean. If we think all problems will be solved in my family, then I shall start spiritual disciplines. Forget it. You will never be free from troubles in your home and family. It will be there. That is called life. Swami Madhavanandaji told one story. Look at Holy Mother. She used to, Dakshineswar, she used to cook rice, in the wooden stove. If you cook, it takes at least half an hour to boil the rice, half an hour to boil dal, lentil. So what did she do? She put on the things in the cooking pot, it is cooking. In between, she used to sit on the steps of the Nahavat, in the back steps, and repeat the mantra. So Swami Madhavanandaji used to say, look, active life and contemplative life can go together. Holy Mother demonstrated while cooking in the kitchen. She demonstrated. I am cooking rice, I am cooking dal, at the same time I am repeating a mantra. And you people give excuse, oh, I cannot do it, I cannot do it. Whatever came, Belur Math, Tuesday, 2nd October 1962, whatever came from the lips of Sri Ramakrishna, they are wonderful. His blessings came through his teachings. You will understand what is called true spiritual life from the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. God only watches you, our sincerity. Our husband, wife, father, they are all God dwells in them. You will have to demand. You can force if you have love. Spiritual life is very easy and easy to attain. And again, it is very difficult. We need only sincerity. If your call comes from the heart, he will respond. He does not care for our shortcomings. But we are involved with our toys, worldly enjoyments. That is the reason mother does not come to us. We'll have to cry, then mother will come. We'll have to give up these worldly enjoyments. We'll have to call on God. The more you go to the east, the west remains far behind. And the attachment for the world will slowly diminish. ভালোবাসা থাকলে জোর চলে. If a child tells mother, I want to buy a kite, that child pulls mother's cloth, you will have to give me money. So mother at last yields and gives money so that the child can buy a kite. Very interesting. Sri Ramakrishna told another funny story. A woman was living with a man, they are not married. Then the man was telling the woman that, no, I shall now leave you. The woman said, Minsha rogue, I gave my family, I left everything for you, and now you want to leave me? She pulls that man's cloth and won't let him go. She has every right to force that man to be with her, because she renounced everything for him. That's Sri Ramakrishna, that's the story Sri Ramakrishna said. You can force God, you will have to do it for me. If you have love, if you have sincerity. Far near, Swami says, this mantra we read in the Isha Upanishad, Tadei Jyoti Tannai Jyoti Tad Dure Tad Bantike Tad Antarasya Sarvaisya Tadu Sarvaisya Vahyata. He vibrates, he does not vibrate. He is very close, he is very far. He is very near, very far. He is inside, he is outside. He is our Atman. Tad dure tad bantike. He is near to these people, those who are Jnani. And he is far away from us, those who are Ajnani, ignorant. He is inside, he is outside, he is everywhere. Khelna, toys. We are all, I remember one of the Jabutis in Los Angeles. He has 4 cars, one man, 4 cars. He has 18 or 19 credit cards. He has so many clothes and shoes in the house, still he wants to buy. Compulsive buyer, because he has money. Or you give away to the poor people if you have money. You will get some virtue. Only me. He died from cancer. What to do? All are gone. Force. I shall tell one Indian folklore. A devotee was a great follower of baby Krishna, Bala Gopala. And he had a pot that water he used to carry for the worship of the deity. who went to take bath in the Ganges, and he washed his pot and kept it on the shore, and while taking bath, a big wave came and took away the pot. So he saw the pot is going over the waves. He tried to get it, he couldn't get it. He became mad. He ran to his home and threatened the deity. I shall hit you. How shall I worship you now? My pot is gone. Saying so, that person, the devotee, fell unconscious. After some time, a devotee, a neighbor came with his pot and returned to him. What is the matter? Well, you know, your pot went. I was also bathing there. I saw a pot was going. All of a sudden, that waves came and threw the pot again to the shore. So I knew it was your pot. So I took it and brought back to you. That is called force. You can force God to fulfill your need. It all comes from love. It comes from sincerity. That Swami said. Thank you very much. Tumeva mata cha pita tumeva tameva bandhusya saka tameva tameva vidya drabinam tameva tameva sarvam mama deva deva. O Lord, thou art my mother, thou art my father, thou art my friend, thou art my companion, thou art my wealth, thou art my learning, thou art my all in all, O Lord. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.